KRC presents the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 video game as we are NASCAR Busch Series racing once again for the running of the Target House 300 at the California Speedway. This is race number 17 of 31 on the custom schedule season for the Busch Series, and our driver Greg Biffle comes with a 170-point lead on the second place driver in points as of right now, Ron Hornaday. Kyle Busch had a DNF in the last race, so he is now over 300 points back in third place in the standings coming into this one today. But you never know what could happen in these final 14 races of the season. I should say final 15 races of the year, 14 after this one concludes tonight. And this is the first of two trips to the California Speedway this season, and this is the last track we have to go to the first time before going there a second time later in the season. The only other trip to California after this one today is going to be the season finale. The championship race for the Busch Series will be at the California Speedway, and it will be the same length, 300 laps, 150 miles. I can't remember if that race is under the lights or if it's also in the daytime, but it is the same length. So maybe a little bit of practice for the championship race today as well. About to hit qualifying. We'll see where Greg Biffle will qualify today. Joshua Rumsey, welcome into the chat, into the stream. And no problem. If you can't stay, man, I'm not forcing you to be here if you're not feeling well. So greatly appreciate you even just stopping by just for the quick second. Hopefully you hit the like button on your way out, but hopefully it gets better for you. Greg Biffle getting up to speed right now. This could be a potential fuel mileage race today if this does go caution-free. We've had 5 caution-free Busch Series races this season. And remember our Cup Series race at the California Speedway about a week and a half ago went caution-free as well. And that was 500 miles. This one 200 miles less than that. It's going to be interesting to see. Into turns 1 and 2. No practice, just jumped right into qualifying for Greg Biffle. And through 3 and 4 on his first of 2 laps in qualifying. Lap 1 will time in at a 39.558, and it is fast enough for the pole, so Greg Biffle won't even run lap number 2. Greg Biffle sits on the pole by almost a full tenth of a second. So Biffle starting out in front. He's already the points leader coming into this one as well. No need to make any adjustment changes from qualifying to the race. Here we go in the Target House 300 at the California Speedway. We are racing again on a Tuesday night. Greg Biffle spinning the tires on the start all over the place, and Blue Castleberry, who qualified second, is going to get to the lead in turns 1 and 2. And Greg Biffle falls all the way back from first to fourth. Who's going to lead lap 1? A lot of lane changing going on down the back straightaway right now. Biffle staying low. Gets right back up to second off the exit of turn 4. Going to move up to the outside. Maybe a little too wide. And Castleberry will lead lap 1. Historic Cinematics, welcome to the stream. And I greatly appreciate that comment. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream as well. Car on the inside of Greg Biffle right now. I believe it's Ashton Lewis. Oh, wow, there's 2 cars. I didn't realize they were almost 3 wide. Kyle Busch and Bobby Hamilton Jr. were there. And Busch now to the inside of Biffle. Biffle stuck behind Castleberry all over the back bumper, the 138 car. Kyle Busch to the inside for the race lead. We've seen miniature pack races at California and Michigan on this game before, so I would not be surprised if it's going to turn into that here today with the drivers who can at least stay in the draft at the front of the field. Kyle Busch looking for bonus points in his hunt for the championship. Bobby Hamilton Jr. now to the inside. Kyle Busch is clear of the race lead on Castleberry with a block on the back straightaway. Biffle still boxed in on the outside. He can't get down to the bottom right now. Can't get to the bottom, so he'll go 3 wide up the middle, and that's a bit of a gutsy move. He's going to be able to clear Castleberry up high off of turn 4. Kyle Busch will lead at the line. Biffle clear to the bottom now, holding off Ashton Lewis in the 46, and he'll dive underneath the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. into turn 1 for second place again. We'll have some Cup Series regulars in this race as well, outside of Greg Biffle, who is running full-time for the Busch Series this season. You and me both, Historic. You and me both. I'm still logging in a lot of hours in this game with these full race live streams too. Kyle Busch is hanging on strong right now. Greg Biffle looking for a pass. Trying the outside. Kyle Busch gonna go with him. Biffle got up into the marbles. Busch went way too wide though. And Bobby Hamilton Jr. is on the bottom lane. He looks for the lead. Biffle with an undercut. 3 wide for the race lead now through 3 and 4. What a race. In the opening 5 laps, and Biffle might come out with his first lap led. He hasn't cleared Bobby Hamilton Jr., but he will lead his first lap of the race. Took him 5 completed laps before getting out to the front. Now he's clear into turn 1. And Kyle Busch will cross over the 25 of Hamilton for second place on the bottom of the racetrack. And Busch has a run off of turn 2. I believe he's underneath the 60. 60 of Biffle going to go down and try to block Kyle Busch into turn 3. Busch is going to go way up the racetrack as he overdrives turn 3 on entry, and Hamilton cuts underneath him off the exit of turn 4. That was Biffle's fastest lap of the race, 39.567. Only one he's been in the lead from the start of the lap to the finish of the lap as well. It just doesn't seem like Biffle's as fast in turns 1 and 2 as what he is in 3 and 4. 3 and 4, he seems to be a little bit better off the exit of the corner, but turn 2, these guys really have a big run on him on the back straightaway. Some of it is the drafting help for sure, but it just seems like they get from the middle to the exit of the corner back in the gas a lot sooner than Biffle. If you look at the track map on the upper right hand corner of the screen, the field is basically all jam-packed together still. Kyle Busch down on the bottom. Biffle just trying to protect that inside. Even if he has to back the corner up a ton just to hold the bottom, it's going to be a little easier to do that on fresher tires right now. Track position is key. We saw that in the Cup Series race. It was a lot harder to pass in the Cup race at California, I will say, compared to what we're seeing already in the early going of this one, as the leaders have passed each other back and forth quite often. Had 3 different drivers lead a lap already. Bobby Hamilton Jr. trying to lead his first lap. He's back into second again. Trying to get to the inside of Biffle into turn 3! He might have clipped the 60. And Biffle's going to hang on to the race cars. He's drifting all the way up the racetrack off the exit of turn 4, but he barely keeps it off the wall. He'll hang on to the lead, but Hamilton definitely drove it in a bit too deep that time and got into the left rear corner panel of Biffle. It wasn't just aero loose, he definitely made contact with him. Tough to do on a very fast racetrack is hold on to the car like that. And still with that loss of momentum though on the front stretch, that's going to give an opportunity for Kyle Busch, who was in third a half a lap ago before the contact. Oh boy, a little more contact now between the 60 and the 5. And Busch just doors the 60 of Biffle in the middle of 1 and 2. I think he tried to move up thinking he was clear, and he definitely wasn't. Biffle's all over the place now. Still trying to regather it. And Kevin Harvick is in the mix for the first time out of seemingly nowhere. Mr. Where Did He Come From? Wade Solinsky, welcome to the stream. Could never race in third person, always first person for myself. Take different hand-eye. Yeah, I've always basically raced in third person. Growing up and everything, so I'm just used to it now. Biffle's fastest lap of the race, 39.482 that last lap. Hamilton going to try to cross Biffle back over into 1 and 2. Kevin Harvick on the outside still. The 21 car, Harvick going to go down to try and block the 25. Biffle with a run on the back straightaway. He's getting a big draft off of Kyle Busch in front of him, and he may look to the outside of Harvick, but it's not going to work. Top four really racing hard right now, but they are pulling away from the rest of the field as well. Greg Biffle going all the way down to the apron of the racetrack. Thought he had a bigger run than what he actually did on Hamilton. Kevin Harvick looking for the lead. He's got one Cup Series win, but no Busch wins so far on this custom schedule season. For both custom schedule seasons, really, and his only Cup win was at Talladega about 4 races prior to the most recent Cup race. The night race at Talladega. People trying to find a way underneath Bobby Hamilton. Those 3 cars drafted towards the outside. It's going to be difficult, but Biffle is there on the 25. And Harvick slides up in the middle of 1 and 2 now. There may be a chance for Biffle to get up there. Biffle trying to get the 5 car loose. He did. Greg Biffle slid in the middle of the corner, but because the 5 car slid even more, that's going to allow Biffle to get to the inside. As he side drafts Kyle Busch on the outside, Kevin Harvick goes to the bottom and puts him 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. And they are dead even off of turn 4 right now. Biffle gets a bit of a run, and he'll lead this lap at the line by half a car length. What a battle so far in the first 15 laps of this race. Oh, more contact. Harvick now doors the 60. He goes up the track, and here comes Kyle Busch in the bottom. Sorry, that's Bobby Hamilton Jr. Biffle trying to squeeze Hamilton. Side drafting him into turn 3. Harvick trying to lead his first lap of the race this time by. He's clear off of turn 4 still. Biffle trying to break the draft from Kyle Busch behind him. Hamilton's going to go for the lead into turn 1 on Kevin Harvick. Harvick just got his first lap led, and now here comes Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton may have gotten a little loose. Biffle trying to intimidate him. Biffle's going to go to the outside and draft with the 29. Oh, boy. Hamilton just pulled up right into the side of the 60 of Biffle. That's going to cost him a spot. He thought he was clear up high, and he was not. There's been a lot of contact in the early going of this race. At these high speeds, it's going to cause a big accident one of these times if they are not careful. Victory Lane Videos and Productions, welcome to the stream. Busch and Hamilton side by side. Biffle trying to loosen Kevin Harvick in the 21 car up. He did, and that's going to allow Biffle to get to the inside on the back straightaway. Trying to intimidate the 21 car. And it is going to work. Greg Biffle will make the pass, and he is out in front off of turn 4. I can't even keep track of how many lead changes we've had so far today, but we've had quite a few. And at this rate, we're probably far from them being over. Kyle Busch back to second. Biffle with a big block. He is clear. Going low, going high, back to the bottom. Harvick going to follow the 5. believe Kyle Busch was the first driver to sweep the Busch in the Cup race at Bristol. Well, he was the first to sweep all three, the Truck, Busch, and Cup. So I don't know about just Busch and Cup. Harvick almost got underneath the 60. Biffle able to throw the block in time in the middle of the tri-oval. The way they are racing right here, this is one of those races where it's going to come down to the wire. And we might have more than just one driver in the mix at the end of it, because these four all look fairly equal on speed in the early going. Now Harvick is there on the 60. Biffle thought about throwing a block, realized that he wasn't going to be clear. He'll still pinch him off, though, into turn 3. Harvick going way up the racetrack now. Bobby Hamilton does too. Kyle Busch underneath of Harvick. Biffle going down trying to break the draft through the tri-oval. As they're side by side for second place behind him. Now a pull back up to try and arc his corner off into turn 1. Busch to the bottom. Kyle Busch just sailed it off into turns 1 and 2. I don't know if he's clear or not yet. I don't think he is. Biffle's trying to side draft the right rear corner panel. That was close. Got a little loose into turn 3. NASCAR 05 better than NASCAR 21, if so why? It is far better. The physics in general, the physics are just 10 times better. The AI are smart in this game. Kyle Busch going really high. Hamilton into the side of Biffle. Biffle barely keeping it off the wall. Not really sure what that was all about from Bobby Hamilton. I think he just missed the corner. I wasn't sure Hamilton was going to get off Biffle when they initially made the contact. Kevin Harvick is soaring up to second. He might have a shot at the lead. Biffle down to the apron into 3 and 4. Wiggled a little bit, but he actually stuck it for the most part. Clears the 25. He's underneath the 21 of Harvick. Maybe a little side draft now trying to pull away. Down to the apron. That didn't work. Hamilton was able to draft behind Harvick and Busch on the outside to get right back around him. I don't know who's in 5th place. There's somebody in 5th is closing in as well. Trying to get Bobby Hamilton a little loose. Nothing doing there. He turns 3 and 4. Biffle hooks the white line. Hits his marks perfectly, and he's back to 3rd. Man. Not really able to stick that apron like he was earlier. Yeah, whoever that is in 5th is definitely closing in, as well as the top 4 continue to battle for the lead. Biffle probably going to need Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick to get side by side again. We're at lap 26, and right as Biffle crossed the start-finish line to lap 26, he hit the halfway mark on fuel. That's going to be important because, again, if it is a caution-free race today, it is going to be borderline 2-stopper. Everybody's going to be pitting right at the edge of that pit window, trying to stretch it as far as they can. We could see a potential fuel mileage race today. Kyle Busch still holding off Kevin Harvick for the time being. Harvick with a much wider corner through 3 and 4. Really arcing it off as much as he can. As soon as Busch started to push up, that's when Harvick was able to actually get the rotation in the race car. Greg Biffle basically just kind of rounded the bottom all the way through. Harvick may get there, and he is there, side by side for the lead. Kevin Harvick getting alongside the 5. And as they are still side by side on the back straightaway, Busch will throw the block, getting a bit better of a run. Biffle's going to try to arc the corner off at the last second. Both the 21 and the 5 entered pretty flat. Biffle is underneath Harvick now. This is for second place. That didn't work out very well. Biffle pushes up the track a little bit, 1 and 2. He may lose third place to Bobby Hamilton. Decent drive off, though, and he stays in front of the 25 car in the backstretch. Have to run down the 21 and the 5 again. Speaking of NASCAR 21, though, we will go back to NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow night on the channel. It'll be our first full race live stream in 2 weeks on that game. It'll be our only one this week. We had an online lobby last Monday night. It was our one weekly stream of NASCAR 21 Ignition. But this week it'll be tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be at Sonoma for the next race of the final season on that game. Our third road course race of the year. Right front tire starting to wear out a little bit on the 60. If we're really trying to reel in Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch again. If we're pretty flat into turn 1. He'll slide up off the exit of the corner, and he gets into the wall. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Harvick going to go wide now into turns 3 and 4. Loses a little bit of ground to Kyle Busch that corner. Biffle able to close the gap on the 21 car. One car is very slow in turns 1 and 2 right now, and I believe that is the first driver who has blown an engine in today's race. Craig Miller in the 168 car was the slow driver down on the apron of the racetrack. Harvick going to go wide in 3 and 4 again, trying to arc the corner off, but Biffle was already there by the time he tried to move down. Harvick definitely went a little bit too wide. A little contact now on the front stretch between Biffle and Harvick. A little side swipe as Biffle's able to get around Harvick with the move. Now he's trying to get Kyle Busch loose. He did! He intimidated him, but that's going to actually allow Kevin Harvick to get to the lead on the bottom and not Greg Biffle. Maybe. Busch isn't clear yet. Or Harvick isn't clear of Busch yet. He's going to try to move up. Now he's clear. Biffle going to try to get them both, though, in turns 3 and 4. Caution. And I don't know who was in the lead at the time of the yellow. I think it might have been Kevin Harvick. That was close. Our first caution of the race today back in the pack as we had a 3-car battle for the lead at lap 32. The 121 car pounds the wall off the exit of turn 2. He got ran into from behind by another car. I couldn't tell who it was, though. Yeah, I couldn't tell who that was. It was another fantasy driver that ran into him. Well, that's going to be very interesting now. Greg Biffle's going to stay out of the pits and feel that he can make it on 2 stops to the end. And it looks like everybody else is going to stay out as well, so it's going to help save a little bit of fuel during this run. Maybe there were some drivers at the rear that pitted, not entirely sure, but the green flag is back in the air at lap 37, and Harvick will restart with the lead. Biffle pulling out of line, probably shouldn't have done that. He didn't take off very well. Now he's got to go back up to try and block Busch as Harvick's trying to get away. So that was our first caution of the race today. This one will not go caution-free like the Cup race did earlier in the season. Biffle going to hang on to second on the restart at least. 2 and 3 wide back behind the 60 of Biffle. Biffle drives it flat down onto the apron. Trying to get a run on Kevin Harvick in the 21 car, who will lead the opening lap after the restart. Biffle getting up to speed, breaking the draft on the 25 behind him. Now we'll cut back up and try to block him. 3 wide for 4th place further back. Kyle Busch losing ground in the middle upper groove. Biffle slides up the racetrack a little bit. Hamilton underneath him. Biffle crowds him. Hangs on to second. That was a risky block, but he was able to pull it off. I think Ron Hornaday's up to 4th place. He's second in the point standings coming in. We got Harvick loose that time. But again, just can't quite get underneath. Harvick down with a block. Into turn 3. Biffle going low, and he's underneath Harvick. He's had too big of a run on him. Kevin couldn't pull down and block. Biffle squeezes him off of 4, and he's clear. Biffle a little loose, though, off the exit of the corner. Lets the car drive itself down to the bottom. Looks like Bobby Hamilton's up to second. Harvick losing 2 spots that corner. Trying to get one of them back in turns 1 and 2. And he'll be able to get around the 25, and he may actually get back around the 60 of Biffle as well. Biffle crowding him. Still crowding him all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Kevin Harvick holding strong down to the apron in the middle of the corner. Now he slides up. And he is clear off of turn 4, but Biffle undercuts now off the exit of the corner, and he's on the inside. Well, he went way too far down the track. And Harvick hangs on to the lead. That restart, there are a lot more drivers in it all of a sudden. Right as we're about to get to those first pit stops of the race in about 10 laps. There's 2 RCR cars at the front of the field, and Hornaday and Harvick. Harvick definitely goes wide into turn 3, and sometimes it works for him, and sometimes it's cost him if a car is too close behind him, like Biffle was again that time. Trying to squeeze the 29, goes to the apron to get that lap led. Harvick trying to get a run again. Biffle goes back up to side draft him into turn 1, side by side for the lead. 25 car trying to take a peek to the bottom. Now they're 3 wide for the lead. Biffle clears Harvick up high. He gets loose off turn 2. Stays in the gas and drives out of it. Now they're 3 wide behind him with Hornaday in the middle of Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Oh, very tight into turn 3, and Hamilton's got the lead. Busch to second. Biffle has to hang on to third. Big blocks going on from a lot of different cars on the front stretch. Biffle slides into turn 3. He's definitely struggling on old tires. Up the track he goes. He's going to keep it off the wall. Matt Kenseth is in the mix now. First time we've seen him in the top 3 all day. Well, trying to get there at least. He's going to get there now. He beats the 60 to the bottom. Kenseth clears Biffle. Biffle feeling gutsy. Wants to go up the middle. I don't know if this is going to work into turn 1 on old tires. He's going to clear the car up high at least. Gets around his teammate Kenseth. And Kenseth's in the wall off of turn 2. Kenseth goes way up the racetrack that time. Biffle dives it into turn 3, but Harvick hangs on to the bottom as well. Wonder how much the field's going to space apart after green flag pit stops. Oh, he got Harvick loose again. That time he got into the back of him, though. Trying to intimidate him. Again, he's underneath Harvick, trying to side draft him off of turn number 4. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, they're side by side for the lead. Hey. Still trying to catch it. He's got back way out of the gas. Oh, he squeezes Hornaday. There's contact there. Up the track goes Biffle. This car's getting very loose. He's going to have to tighten it up to help it on the longer run. Michelle Marie, Cave Miller, welcome to the stream. 1/8 of a tank of fuel left. Has to at least get to lap 50. And that caution's really going to help some of these drivers to try and make it on a few less stops. Or one less stop, I should say. Be interesting to see if we still see drivers pit before lap 50. Still could get a caution in a weird spot in this race. That one helped middle of the run. Well, congratulations on your win in Indianapolis. Kyle Busch, by the way, was able to get the lead from Hamilton. Hamilton trying to cross him back over. That's allowing Biffle and Harvick to close the gap, as well as Hornaday in 5th. So the 25 and the 5 continue to swap the lead back and forth and cross each other over. Kevin Harvick pulling all the way to the bottom. I wonder if he's pitting this time. It's before lap 50. It wouldn't be a wise decision to pit, but he will pit. I guess he can't go any further on fuel. So Harvick pits at lap 48 from 3rd place. Kyle Busch still leads. And a lot more cars came with Harvick as well towards the back of the pack. It was about half a second still off the race lead. It should cycle Harvick to the lead if he has at least a decent stop. And now Kyle Busch pits from the lead, and that will give the lead back to Bobby Hamilton Jr. Pretty low on fuel for Greg Biffle right now as he's trying to draft off of Hamilton in the tri-oval. He's close enough down to be able to do it. Busch pits at lap 49. Hamilton pulling to the bottom at lap 50. Biffle's going to try to go to lap 51. And Harvick going to stay on the lead lap for now. Bobby Hamilton likely pitting this time. He'll pull to the bottom. Greg Biffle will lead and stay out an extra lap. 100 laps to go at the start-finish line. Greg Biffle is the race leader. He will pit this time by, really trying to stretch it on fuel. A caution's going to help him go 51 laps on this opening run. But is he going to be able to go 49 and 50 on the next 2 runs if we don't get cautions? And Biffle will pit this time. Four tires and fuel. Trying to get as much time as he can on the way into pit road. Going to try to tighten the race car up as well. Going to put a half a round of wedge in it. And then they're also going to drop the air pressure 2 pounds. So major adjustments on the 60 of Biffle. Only 2 scheduled stops in the race as of right now. So not going to have many chances to adjust on the setup. So that's why they're making major adjustments now. And if they have to move it back a little bit on the next stop, they will. Mr. Clean Crew is fired in both series after a mistake in the last Busch race that we had him in and the last Cup race now. So no more Mr. Clean Crew the rest of the season of Bull Series. And this number 60 crew will have a good stop, 15.8 seconds. And there goes Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Bobby Hamilton. Biffle, of course, was the last of all those guys to pit. So not surprising that he is going to be behind them all coming out of the pits. Even the 27 of Johnny Sauter's ahead of him. Kenny Wallace was able to get 1 lap led. No drafting help for Greg Biffle. See how fast the 60 car is. And we'll see if those adjustments are going to pay off as well. So he gets up to speed. See where Ron Hornaday is going to cycle in the 2 car. Not sure where Hornaday is going to cycle. Looks like it'll be ahead of Biffle. Kyle Busch will cycle back as the leader, even though he had pitted a lap after Bobby Hamilton Jr. and 2 laps after Kyle Busch. Sorry, it was the other way around. Bobby Hamilton Jr. pitted 2 laps after Harvick. Busch pitted 1 lap after Harvick and 1 lap before Hamilton. Biffle blows right around Sauter for 6th place through turns 3 and 4. Still 97 laps to go, though, at California. 2-mile racetrack, so plenty of time left in this race. 1 more pit stop at least still to come. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 11 likes on the stream right now. Currently 10 viewers for this Tuesday night Busch Series action. NASCAR 21 Ignition returns to the channel tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next race at Sonoma. Our 3rd road course race of the season. 2nd of the last 3 races on that NASCAR 21 Ignition season. Kenseth in 5th place up ahead. 194 miles an hour into turn 1. And a Busch Series car nonetheless for Greg Biffle. He's going to be able to draft him down the back straightaway. This could potentially be Biffle's fastest lap of the race with the drafting help he's getting from his teammate in front of him. Well, it may have been until he overdrove 3 and 4 and he slid up the track. Driving it in a little bit too deep that time. It was about 0.2 of a second slower than his fastest lap. And a 10th off the lap before that. Pretty good though on the front stretch and through 1 and 2 again. Long race gonna get some popcorn. It's short considering it's a Busch Series race. Cup race was 100 laps longer. But definitely a long way to go from the end here. SG Fulton 83, welcome to the stream. Biffle to the inside of Matt Kenseth. You go up and try to side draft him in the tri-oval. Battle for 4th, or 5th rather. Between the Roush Fenway teammates, Biffle drove it in deep, slides up the track, barely clears the 17. Kenseth maybe going to try a crossover. Biffle's going to go down to try and block it. And he'll be able to hold on to his top 5 position. Kyle Busch still leads. I don't even want to begin to guess who has led the most laps in this race so far. There has been a ton of lead changes. I've seen a lot of different drivers lead multiple laps in this race. Blue Castleberry led the first 2 laps. He started second. He hasn't really been in the top 5 since. Greg Biffle's led a handful of laps. Kevin Harvick's led a handful of laps. Kyle Busch has led some laps. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has led some laps. All in the first 59. Kenny Wallace led 1 lap during the caution period. So did Ron Hornaday. Or sorry, not the caution period, but the green flag pit stops. Oh, Hornaday trying to block Biffle in the middle of the corner. They make a bit of contact. Biffle squeezing him now on the front stretch. He's up to 4th anyway. He's about 1.6 seconds off the race lead. Looks like Bobby Hamilton Jr. in 3rd place is starting to lose him. Kevin Harvick just took the lead that last lap away from Kyle Busch as well. See if Harvick can get away. Three Cup Series regulars right now in the top 6. Harvick in the lead, Biffle 4th, and Kenseth 6th. 3 Busch regulars running 2nd, 3rd, and 5th of Kyle Busch, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and Ron Hornaday Jr. Hornaday 2nd in points to Greg Biffle, 170 back, coming in just over 1 race worth of points. A difference of points. You can score as many as 190 if you lead the most laps and win the race, but you can only outscore a driver because of the last place finishing points and no laps led versus a driver who gets the max points day. At about 157 points. I'm thinking correctly. That's why it was important for Hornaday to get that lap led in the middle of green flag pit stops as well. You never know, that could be the only lap he leads this entire race, but it's good enough for 5 points. Biffle drives it in pretty deep. Had half of his car down on the white line. Closing on Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 car. Made some popcorn, you're good now. Popcorn sounds pretty good. 156 is the max you can outscore. Oh yeah, you're right. It's 34 points for last, not 33. Yeah, you're right. Thought Hamilton was going to throw a block on Biffle. Biffle went down to the apron in the middle of the corner just to make sure. It's a good thing Biffle's got relatively fresh tires, only 12 laps on him. And he was able to get it to stick that low on the track that time. We definitely saw at the end of the last run he was not able to do that. But he completes the pass for 3rd. Trying to run down the leaders, and with Busch and Harvick side by side for the lead again through turns 1 and 2. Busch on the bottom and Harvick on the outside. It's definitely going to allow Biffle to close in maybe a bit quicker. You just can't pull away with the big draft that these drivers can get on the straightaways here. Looks like Harvick's all clear. Or has been cleared by Kyle Busch. And Busch is back in the lead again. Another lead change tonight. We might have over 50 lead changes in a 150 lap race. That's just insane. On a non-super speedway as well. It's close to it. The way this game, the EA Sports games in general are at Michigan and California, it's like a mini super speedway. It is, but it isn't, because it obviously gets spread apart, but there's usually 4 or 5 cars like this that are able to battle for the lead like we've seen so far today. And today, it's the 4 cars of Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Greg Biffle, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. And Hornaday's not that far off from these guys. He was able to hang on with that restart, but then after the green flag pit stops, he couldn't really hang on any longer. Biffle trying to break the draft from the 25 with Bobby Hamilton Jr. behind him, who's still trying to keep pace. He's got a big run into turn 1. Biffle breaking that draft just enough was the difference in him hanging on to 3rd place there. Hamilton was coming in hot. And our only caution was back at lap 32. It'll be interesting to see if we see any more yellows in this one. A little edgy on the bottom of the track that time. Had all 4 tires below the white line on the apron through 3 and 4. Yeah, can maybe get away with it on fresher tires right now, but that would be about it. We'll alternate through the different camera angles when we get back to the start-finish line this time by, for the first time in tonight's race. Do that for about a 4-lap stretch. It's our version of a NASCAR crank it up. Under 94 miles an hour into turn 1 again. He wasn't really close enough to get any drafting help behind Harvick either. Definitely some good horsepower under the hood of the 60 car. And he does seem to be a little bit quicker than what he was on the first run as well. And I wonder if some of that has to do with the setup changes they made during that first stop, adding the half round of wedge and dropping the air pressure 2 pounds from 23 all the way around to 21 PSI. Seen minimal contact tonight. Luckily, we haven't seen major contact, but minimal could be major. At a track this fast, this relatively flat. I mean, there's progressive banking. Not a lot of room for error. Plus, you add into the fact that even though it's the widest racetrack, there's still not a lot of room for error. But then you also add in that there's still no safer barrier in this game as well. So, like when we saw the 121 of Ray Westbury get into the wall earlier. Obviously had to hurt his race car pretty heavily damage-wise. Also got ran into behind by another lap car. So it ended up being a single-car spin, which turned into a 2-car accident. Kevin Harvick had a great run in the tri-oval. He worked back around Kyle Busch through turns 1 and 2. As he saw Biffle closing in, he realized he had to get going pretty soon. It's about to be a 3-car race for the lead as Bobby Hamilton Jr. has lost these guys. 5 and 21 battled for the lead just a little too much and it allowed the 60 to close in, and now Biffle's underneath of Busch for second. About 80 laps to go. Still nose to nose into turn 1. Biffle flat into the corner. Slides just a little bit. He's clear for second though. Plenty of room to slide up the track and use all he needs. Try and carry a little bit more momentum. Michael Weeks, welcome to the stream. I do remember you. I remember seeing you in the chat last night. And in the past, even before that also. We got off turn 4 pretty good. Not enough, though, to get underneath the 21 car of Harvick, so he just pulled in line again behind him through the tri-oval. So we're almost halfway home tonight. We're trying a little bit higher line through turns 1 and 2. I don't know if that's going to work out very well. for straightaway speed. Hops back in the draft. That'll definitely help him. 189 miles an hour into turn 3. Biffle hooking the apron. Closes on Harvick. He's underneath him off of turn 4. But does he have enough? Desperately trying to side draft the 21 car. Biffle now trying to get away from him just a little bit. Now he goes back up to try and side draft him at the last second again, and that might have been just enough. A little bit of contact. Harvick's in the wall after getting squeezed by Biffle in 1 and 2. Biffle with the lead on the back straightaway, and here comes Kyle Busch to the bottom of the track at 3 and 4. Well, he goes up, but so did Biffle. Busch stayed low enough. And Kyle Busch is going to be in the lead. He pulls up. Biffle trying to cross over to the bottom, and he is there into turn 1. Biffle gets it to stick. And he's back to being clear off of turn 2 again. Furfur Express, welcome to the stream. Brian Rodriguez, welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, Greg Biffle did sweep. And I did win the first race. And the only race at California earlier this season for the Cup Series. So although it's not the same weekend necessarily, we could win both the Busch race here and the Cup race with Greg Biffle. Repeat history. A little bit backwards, but we'll repeat history one way or another. And we are going to be halfway home this time by. So the trivia question will be coming up within the next couple of laps. Kyle Busch continues to put a lot of pressure behind Greg Biffle. Halfway home. Tonight's trivia question is going to be this, and it has to deal with the NASCAR Cup Series this season. Not at Auto Club, but this season. Who is the highest driver in the NASCAR Cup Series point standings that has not led a lap yet this season? That is tonight's trivia question. And who is the highest running driver in the NASCAR Cup Series driver standings, the point standings, who has not led a lap yet this season? Comment your answers down in the chat below, and at lap 85 I'll give you the answer to that question if I don't see it down in the chat. Mystery Bastard, thanks for tuning in, and yep, we are first. First in the point standings right now. 170 point lead over Ron Hornaday, and just over 300 points back to Kyle Busch, who had a blown engine in the last race. He wasn't second going into that race, too. Yeah, Kevin Harvick in the 21. Oh, you're talking about Kevin Harvick this season? No, Kevin Harvick has led laps this season. He led in the Daytona 500 earlier this year. Busch, you gotta be more. Not Kurt Busch. Austin Dillon is close. I checked. Austin Dillon has led 2 laps this season. He is 13th in the driver standings right now. Oh, Harvick gets into Biffle. Up the track they go. Harvick's in the wall, and around he goes. Kevin Harvick just blew turn 3, got into the left rear of Greg Biffle. Biffle saved it, but Harvick did not. And Kyle Busch has the lead. And unfortunately, Biffle's going to have to pit, but he can't take any tires right now. Being involved in the accident. Our second caution of the day. It is not Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon also led lap. I actually am surprised. Ty Dillon has led 1 lap this season when I was looking at it. He's also not as high as this other driver in the point standings, but got to make sure I don't take fuel or tires. And no adjustment changes here. Harvick just blew turn 3. We were wondering if we were going to end up seeing a wreck the top portion of the field with how hard those guys are battling all day, and Kevin Harvick stepped just over the edge there. But yeah, Ty Dillon's looked one lap this season. It must have been on a super speedway or under caution or something. Not Eric Almirola. It is Chris Buescher. That is a very good guess. Hopefully he didn't cheat, but Chris Buescher is the answer to tonight's trivia question. Kyle Busch will restart from the lead right now. Wow, there's 4 cars out of the race already. Just past halfway as we get to the restart. Greg Biffle's going to have to get this track position back now, following the lap 79 caution. His tires are probably burnt up quite a bit too, with sliding them as bad as he did in the middle of the corner. But Chris Buescher is highest in the point standings without any laps led this season in the NASCAR Cup Series, so he is the answer to tonight's trivia question. Chris Buescher is 20th in the driver standings right now, but he is the only one in the top 20 who has not led a lap yet this year. Take Alex Bowman, welcome to the stream. There's a lot of drivers who have led laps this season. Very few have not. Jimmy Hill in the 116 trying to squeeze Greg Biffle down to the bottom of the track. Biffle's going to get sideways. Those old tires. As flat as he entered into the corner, they were 3 wide in front of him too. Biffle has less than half the race to try and get this track position back. Being on worn out tires right now is not going to help him in the middle of the pack. Just gets underneath the 107 of handle. Massive run on the back straightaway. Will get to the bottom of Jimmy Hill. 3 wide with the 113 car. Trey Murray on the outside as well. Biffle to the outside of Lance Brantley into turn 1. Ooh, contact with Nixon. You know, most of the field is likely short on fuel, but that caution is going to also help them again try to save a little bit during this run. I think Greg Biffle's going to try to short pit so he can gain track position. Because on these old tires, he's definitely not going to gain it right now. We don't have all that much time left in this race, just 65 laps to go. He's going to wait it out a few more laps in case we get a wreck, but then again, he's got to hope he's not in it. Being in the middle of the pack, it could be dangerous. That was the crew chief there. Biffle made a 3-wide pass back in traffic. He was just like, oh yeah. I haven't heard that out of him all season. Not that I've noticed, at least. I hope you guys heard that down in the chat. Hopefully the game volume's up enough that you guys actually heard him say that. That was a long O, by the way, also. Top 88. 3 wide. Ashton Lewis just about got ping-ponged into the tent of Terry Cook to his outside. Hermie Sadler is up there as well now. Oh, contact down low. Biffle didn't realize he had a car underneath him. Biffle hangs on to it. Completely chopped the run off of that car he did chop off. Lap 89. Into turns 1 and 2. Biffle gets a bit loose. Three wide into 3 to the bottom goes Biffle. Up to 20th. And Biffle will short pit this time by at lap 89. Trying to make up time on the fresh tires on the leaders. So he'll make it a 3-stop race today. This one's going to be 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments. We'll repair a little bit more of that damage ensued in the last caution. And the rest of the field will be pitting within the next 10 laps. Probably start to see some drivers pit less than that again. The drivers who did not even make it to lap 50 the last time probably going to pit within 4 laps or so before lap 100, I'd have to imagine. And many drivers can't make it on fuel. Greg Biffle could have tried to stretch it, but he's trying to get the track position in case we get another caution. We've had 2 of them already today, and the way the racing's been, the way it is in the middle of the pack right now, he's banking on there being another yellow. He just can't have it while he's a lap down right now. That's the big thing. Sliding on the bottom of the track as he has to stay low as he's getting up to speed. So cycle out mid-pack, but now he's got fresh tires and he can really try to gain as much track position as possible now. Pretty clean stop there by the 60 crew as well on pit road. And remember, the championship race is at California for the Busch Series this season as well, so this is not our last trip to this track. The crazy racing we've seen with the front runners in this one. Just imagine if we have a couple front runners in a tight championship battle at the end of the season, duking it out as well. Remember, short pitting won Biffle the Cup Series race most recently at Martinsville, in a race that went caution-free. He just needs this to at least stay caution-free for everything to cycle through for him to get this track position back. Then if we get a caution in the final 50 laps, he could definitely pit under the yellow again. That would be his final stop. If not, it's going to be a fuel-only stop at the very, very end. Probably within the last 10 laps. Sliding his way through 1 and 2. Again, on fresher tires, so it's panning out for him to run that low in the middle of the corner to get around this traffic, especially while making it 3 wide. By the way, I think there's another car out of the race since the restart too, because Biffle's in 38th now, and I don't think anybody was a lap down on normal race pace earlier. We haven't had a long enough green flag run to be able to catch any lap traffic yet today. Maybe this one will be the one. Pit stops are going to be coming up soon for the rest of the field. Biffle just ran his fastest lap of the race that last lap at 39.463. He's in traffic, but again on fresh tires. He's just pushing a bit too hard as he slides up the track in the middle of turns 3 and 4 that time. Trying to get to the bottom. David Green going to block him, even though that Biffle's not for position on Green. Green doesn't want to give it up. Oop, got into him. Got into him again. 3 wide. Hey, what is up with David Green right now? He is pinching Greg Biffle. Biffle nearly wrecks into turn 3. I don't know where David Green went and all that. He went backwards. I don't know what he was doing there. It's definitely going to cost Biffle a little bit of time. Supposed to be gaining time on fresh tires right now. I'm not losing it. Such a wide racetrack to have that happen, too. Plenty of room to go, and he chose to just crowd him all the way down the backstretch. And even on the front stretch, he was throwing blocks on him, too. I doubt those two are going to be racing for position at any point in time in this one. Comment down in the chat below, do you think we're going to see another caution in today's race? If we'll wiggle again going down to the apron through 3 and 4. Do you think we're going to see a third yellow in this one before we get to the checkered flag? Break the strategy up even more. These drivers pitting right now are definitely not going to make it to the end. We'll see who may be able to stay out to lap 100. We'll have to see if they can actually stay out another 50 after that. If we're just looking for the track position. Catching up to Blue Castleberry, who led laps earlier in the race. Biffle trying to get underneath the 138 car, not going to work there. Kenny Wallace is in the lead now. I think some of the leaders pit that last time by, so Kenny Wallace for the second time leading in the middle of green flag pit stops. So finally gets to the bottom of Castleberry, 3 wide. And a pass for Biffle to get around both him and Tim Fido, I believe, was the other car in that group. And I didn't know if Biffle was going to cycle all the way back to the lead. Only pitting about 5 laps, 5 to 7 laps before the rest of these cars. Should have gained him at least a little bit of time. Drivers pitting right now probably won't be able to make it to the end either. Kenny Wallace at lap 101 for the leaders, considering he is not a lap down. Or sorry, considering Biffle's a lap down, so it's lap 101. Biffle's only in 24th right now. There is still a lot of cars that have not made a stop. They're trying to stretch it. With the help of the 2 cautions we've seen today, they've been able to save fuel. Have they saved enough to make it on 2 pit stops? Biffle on a 3-stop strategy. $50 to go. 49 really for the leaders. Kenny Wallace is still on the track, as well as a lot of other race cars. Biffle's only up to 19th. Granted, now some of those drivers have cycled out of the pits in front of him, but not all the leaders have pit yet either. And them going this far, they're only going to have to go by the time they come out of the pits about 48 laps on fuel. So Kenny Wallace is pacing very well to potentially make it to the end. Big run for Biffle on horn today. I think he might have checked up with David Stremme coming to the pits in front of him. Probably didn't have to. Stremme was far enough in front of him, and Biffle was actually underneath him anyway. Kenny Wallace is still on the racetrack. Trying to solidify he can make it on one more stop. R6, welcome to the stream. Kenny Wallace running the middle lane through 3 and 4. He's definitely not pitting this time. Bobby Hamilton Jr. will, though. Biffle to the inside of his teammate Matt Kenseth through the tri-oval. J.J. Yaley on the inside of the 23 of Kenny Wallace. He'll get around him to get his lap back. Oh, Kenseth just got the wall off of turn 2 back behind. Wallace staying out as long as he can right now. Will he pit this time? He's running a little wide going into the corner. Stremme may get underneath him. Not quite going to get underneath him. But Kenny Wallace, it's insane how far he's going right now on fuel. He went further than anybody else the last time, but not this far. I'm starting to wonder if he pitted under the caution. Biffle's in the top 10. This is definitely trapping a lot of cars a lap down right now. Wallace got right back around the 18 of Yaley. Biffle definitely wants to get back in the lead lap as soon as he can. Unaware if Kenny Wallace is going to pit yet. Biffle to the bottom of the racetrack. Wallace will pull onto pit road finally. Biffle will clear Stremme for 8th. He got around Yaley on the backstretch as well. Should cycle ahead of the 23 of Kenny Wallace also. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the race now. Some drivers can make it on fuel and some cannot. I did not think Kenny Wallace was going to go that far compared to everybody else. So unless we get a caution before the end of the race, there is no way anybody else is going to win this one. Kenseth, Hornaday, and Wallace will be on the bottom getting up to speed. This will cycle Greg Biffle up to 3rd. Kyle Busch is the leader. Actually, I don't know if Biffle's going to get around Kenny Wallace. No, he's not going to. Wallace took away Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s line. Kenny's still getting up to second place. So Biffle short pitting definitely gained a lot of track position with it. I think Kevin Harvick's a lap down. He's battling the 5 car right now, but Biffle's in 2nd and Kyle Busch is the leader. So I'm thinking Kevin Harvick's a lap down. I wonder if he might have pitted back to back. Topping off on fuel to make sure he was going to make it to the end. I heard about that from somebody at work when people were clocking out. I heard that happened. I'm not going to lie, I don't even know who he is, to be completely honest. I probably should know who he is. If he's a movie actor, I don't know who he is. I can guarantee you that. I'm not a big movie goer. Harvick definitely battling Kyle Busch quite a bit to get back on the lead lap in case we see a late caution flag. That would take Harvick out of contention with no free pass position in the Busch Series. Greg Biffle closing on both of them, and he wants a shot at the lead. Biffle continues to close. He's under Harvick off of turn 4. Oh, he might have gotten into him too. Harvick going down the track trying to side draft to 60. .41 laps to go at California. Busch down to block Harvick. Harvick squeezed on the outside. Greg Biffle underneath Busch for the lead. Side by side down the back straightaway. Harvick going to go with Biffle. Extra drafting help on the bottom lane. And Biffle is clear into turn 3. Coming to 40 laps to go. Harvick is going to get around Kyle Busch as well. I think. I don't know what happened to Busch. Kyle Busch fell way back. He get in the wall without me knowing? I don't know what happened, but Kyle Busch isn't in the top 2 anymore. I see your message about being in the shower. I didn't think I had to comprehend to it. There's some things I acknowledge silently, I guess. R6, I might have welcomed you to the stream earlier. Sorry if I didn't. Biffle goes wide in 1 and 2. Missing the mark. Kevin Harvick on the bottom of the racetrack. Biffle going to try to squeeze him and hold Harvick a lap down. He knows how fast the 21 car is. Try to do iRacing commentary for NASCAR. Get my name out there better. Don't they have commentators for their higher leagues anyway, though? I don't plan on re-downloading any of the NASCAR Heat games. Oh, Harvick way down there. Well, no chance to pinch him off. Harvick clear. Into turns 3 and 4. Biffle though with the crossover on the 21. Side by side off of turn 4. And he'll clear Harvick into turn 1. Harvick with a crossover of his own. Off the exit of turn 2, though. Again, will we... Oh, geez, Biffle in the wall. That's definitely going to allow Harvick to clear. They are 3 wide, by the way, back there for second place. Next race of this season is at Bristol. So next race of the Busch Series season at Bristol. Next race of the Cup Series season at Atlanta on Thursday. Our Bristol race will be Friday night. That'll be the last stream before I actually leave for Dirt Bristol. So coincidental, that's coming up on the schedule at the right time. And there it is, Biffle halfway up field again. We know he can't make it to the end. Biffle's in the dirty air of Kevin Harvick in the 21 car right now, and it's maybe holding him up. He's getting extra drafting help. It's not like they're pulling away from the cars behind him. Harvick wants to battle so he can try to get to the lead lap. It is a scrum for second place. Watch them out of the rear view, and they're just swapping 3 wide back there, and probably not able to close too much because of it. Biffle got Kevin Harvick loose that time. Biffle to the bottom of the track. He slipped up, though, as he went too far down onto the apron off of turn 4, and he couldn't get around Harvick. Again, just a reminder, Greg Biffle's going to have to pit one more time before the end of the race. A lot of the field will have to pit a third time as well. We know Kenny Wallace is definitely going to make it. He only has to go 45 laps on field to the end. There's a couple other drivers who pitted a few laps prior to him, like Bobby Hamilton Jr., who is in the top 4 in the point standings as well. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday night, really. Don't forget, the Cup race is Sunday night this weekend. On Easter Sunday. I think they're just doing it because of the holiday. Usually, night races are on Saturday, unless it's a holiday weekend. Like, with Memorial Day and Labor Day, usually, but... looks like they're doing that for Easter this year, too. With Dirt Bristol. Well, yeah, both nights it should be alright. It's supposed to drop down into the, like a overnight low of 49 one of the nights, and 46 another one of the nights. So it'll get a little cold at night. During the day, it's supposed to be sunny and right around high 60s, 70 degrees both days, but pretty nice temperatures. But yeah, during the nighttime, it'll definitely cool off, so I'll be bundled up. I'll be alright. We have a battle for the lead going on very shortly. J.J. Yaley in second place is ran down the race leader, Greg Biffle. Biffle's right front, going to go down into the yellow in the middle of the corner. 30 to go this time by, and with him slipping up the track, he almost lost the lead, but he goes down to block Yaley. David Stremmy's up to second place in the 32 car now, as he has cleared the 18 of Yaley. There it is, 30 to go. Will we get a caution at some point in this one to get everybody who needs to pit before the end of the race still another shot with a late race restart? And fresh tires at that as well. Ramping up right now, though, as these guys are battling for track position. 3 wide and tight into the corner. Yaley on the bottom. Stremme down into the middle. Yaley pulls up in front of the 32. He's clear. Biffle loses 3 positions at half a lap. Hornaday got up to third as well. Biffle going to cross over the 2 of Hornaday back to the bottom for third. Oh, Biffle pushed up the track a little bit. Stremme going for the lead on Yaley. Alright, so I guess the temperatures are going to be a little colder than what they were when I checked last. It's definitely going to be a cold one. Bring those hand warmers. Oh, we got Yaley loose. Yaley pulled back down to block, though, in the middle of the corner. Yaley, a rookie in the Busch series, trying to get around David Stremme for the lead. We haven't seen Yaley and Stremme battling for the lead all day long. I don't really know where they came from. Guess with Busch having an issue of some sort, and Harvick just barely get back on the lead lap now, they have a shot. Biffle gets around Yaley on the front stretch for second place, trying to draft off of David Stremme, though, into turns 1 and 2. Biffle slides and washes up the track a little bit. Maybe an opportunity for Yaley to get underneath him, and does. Biffle going to draft off of the 32 of Stremme, though, to allow him to stay clear of Yaley. Biffle to the bottom, into turns 3 and 4. Trying to get to the left rear corner panel of the 32. Can't do it that time. Now he goes up to the outside. Yaley down low, but no run for him. Biffle shaking back and forth, trying to break the draft from the 18. I heard about it. I haven't watched a video of that interview or anything, but where am I? As far as where am I racing in this race, I'm at California Speedway. Where am I right now? I'm in my bedroom streaming this NASCAR 05 race for you guys tonight. Stremme trying to squeeze Greg Biffle. Biffle had to get some extra breathing room down to the apron of the track. Back in the draft again of Stremme. He cannot get around the 32 car right now. We'll be coming to 24 laps to go this time by. Oh, I think he got Stremme loose. At least allows Biffle to close back in. Biffle's tires are extremely old. Probably got to pit in about another 15 laps if we don't get a caution before then. He's definitely going fuel only though if he has to pit under green. Don't count Ron Hornaday out of it. I don't know if any of these top four can make it on fuel to the end. I know Biffle can't. I know Kenny Wallace is really good on fuel to the finish. Biffle looking low on Stremme again. Can't get there. Hops in line behind him. Gonna get a lot of drafting help. Dives to the bottom into 3. Beats Stremme to the inside. And as they come for 23 laps to go, Biffle is in the lead. These guys are actually closing in on the 21 of Kevin Harvick as well. Slowly but surely. Biffle's got a quarter tank of gas left. It's going to be a shame this stays green for the final 65 laps roughly to the end of the race. In the last restart. I think we actually restarted at lap 82. It would definitely be the longest green flag run of the race. If it does stay green, 68 laps. All the way down to the bottom, just trying to block for dear life. Another big block to the outside, and he was barely clear in the 32 of Stremme. Just remember that if Biffle's involved in the accident, he can't pit for fuel or tires. If we do see another yellow. Yaley up to second after Stremme drifted up the track off of turn 4. 21 laps left for the Biff. Praying that we get a late caution to bring the field into the pits with him. Those that can make it might stay out. Try to get track position on the restart. Yaley to the inside of Biffle. Biffle's tires are a little bit older than everybody else's he's racing around right now, and it's definitely holding them up. Even with cars who we haven't really seen in the picture yet. I wonder if Ron Hornaday can make it on fuel. That's going to be big, because if he makes it... Remember, those two are battling for the points lead. Hornaday and Biffle. Although Biffle's got a comfortable lead over Hornaday into this one, it may not be comfortable following it, depending on where Biffle finishes in comparison to the two. Hornaday makes it on fuel, gets a potential win, and Biffle finishes outside the top 20. That is not going to be good for Greg Biffle. I couldn't tell you who's led the most laps, though, in this race today. We'll be coming to 19 to go this time. Biffle is able to hold off Stremme, drives it deep into 3 and 4, gets to the inside, clears the 2, and now he's inside of Yaley for the lead again. Trying to side draft the 18. Going to the bottom, trying to get away from him. Taking a short way around, staying really low into turn 1, and he is there. Clear off of turn 2. There's contact. They both go up the track, and Hornaday's going to get to the lead off of turn 2. Biffle trying to block for second. Car blowing up on the inside of the racetrack. It's Manny Brown in the 83 car, but we don't get a caution out of it. We continue to stay green with 18 laps to go. Oh, Biffle. A little too wide into turn 1. Lost a lot of momentum with that mistake. Back to 3rd, and Yaley is underneath him looking for 4th. Biffle pinches him off, though, into turn 3. Biffle gets a good drive in the middle of the corner, and he's back to the inside of Stremme for 2nd again. "17 laps to go for Ron Hornaday in the 2 car. And 1-2 in the championship standings. Leads this one. Hornaday gets loose. Biffle's in the wall on the top, and Stremme's going to get to the lead on the bottom. Potentially. Stremme clears Hornaday. Yaley for 2nd. Biffle to the inside. They're 3 wide for 2nd off of turn 4, but Biffle couldn't hold the inside. 16 laps to go. Biffle just battling for track position if we get a caution, really. He's going to have to pit before anybody else who can't make it to the end. If we get a caution too late in this race, with 5 or less laps to go, we won't even get a restart, really. 3 wide for 2nd again. Hornaday went way wide. Biffle clears both Yaley and Hornaday, and he's back to P2. Yaley and Hornaday nearly made contact off the exit of turn 4. I don't even know if these guys are going to be able to make it to the end without wrecking, really. Yaley and Hornaday slowing each other up big time. They are aggressively side drafting each other. They make contact off of turn 2. Yaley and Hornaday got together that time, and that's going to really stall them up. And they're losing time to the 32 and the 60. Biffle hooking the bottom of the track. He's under Stremme in the middle of 3 and 4. He gets a bit loose. Wiggled. Broke the momentum, but he's dead even. With 14 to go, Stremme leads that lap at the line. Biffle's going to have the advantage on the bottom, though, into turn 1. Almost got into a close racing, but he is clear off of turn 2. Almost got into the wall. He had to lift, but he's still in the lead. Lifting broke the momentum, though. Stremme fighting back to the bottom, but he can't get there. And Biffle can stay out for a couple more laps, and that's going to be about it. Desperate need of a caution flag. Stremme's in the wall off turn 4. And Yaley's underneath him for 2nd. They're nearly 3 wide. If Hornaday can make it 3 wide into turn 1, I'm sure he'll attempt to. He's not going to be able to with Yaley in front of him. Biffle can't hook the bottom through 1 and 2. Yaley gets around Stremme. Big block by Biffle. Three wide, they're going to split him into 3. Oh my gosh. Nowhere to go but to fall back in the sucker hole in the middle lane, and Hornaday is going to get to the lead on the bottom. Yaley's still back in 3rd. Biffle's fighting for 2nd place now. Biffle gonna try to beat Hornaday in the 1, but he can't do it. Biffle slides. And Biffle's gonna pit this time. He doesn't want to risk running out of fuel. Coming to 12 laps to go. Actually, coming to 11 to go. This time by, Biffle will pit for fuel only. Try and stay in the lead lap as he gets underneath Hornaday for the lead in 3 and 4. But he doesn't want to risk it another lap. Biffle will pit. We'll be seeing more cars pit after him. Who can make it on fuel to the end of the race and potentially win? It's going to be a half can or half tank of fuel. That is going to be it for Greg Biffle. Now it's down to the fuel mileage portion of this race. How many cars are going to have to pit and who can make it? And can Biffle stay on the lead lap in case we get a caution? Biffle should definitely be able to stay on the lead lap. He's going to pull up. He has room to do it. One slow car coming yet. Ron Hornaday is the leader with 10 laps to go. Biffle's on the lead lap, so if we get a caution, he's definitely staying out of the pits now. He's good on fuel to the end of the race. He's going to be on extremely old tires. But he's still banking on there being a yellow. Nine to go this time by for Ron Hornaday. Biffle is in 32nd as they run. So it'd be a big chunk of points. Hornaday could close, and we have just 14 races to go following this one. And the next one is a short one, 250 laps at Bristol. Under the lights on Friday night. Again, NASCAR 21 ignition action tomorrow night on the channel at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night. That race will be at Sonoma. Eight laps to go for Hornaday at the line. Can he make it on fuel? Maybe somebody runs out of gas and that brings out a caution. The only green-white checker I can remember having in the Busch series was at Daytona in the first race of the season. We had a one-lap green-white checker finish. Biffle was pretty slow on the takeoff on the last restart. And he spun the tires on the initial start of the race, so the restarts have not been good for him so far today. He's definitely going to want more than one lap, but we're at the point now we have 7 laps to go for the race leaders. Three-strap strategy just does not look like it's going to pay off. Biffle's hoping that Hornaday at least doesn't make it on fuel. Don't forget Kevin Harvick is the last car on the lead lap right now. If we did get a late yellow as well, he would only be about 2 positions behind Harvick. Or behind Biffle. All the Cup Series regulars in the field today. Will it be a Busch Series regular winning at California? And a potential fuel mileage finish. I think it will be a fuel mileage finish. Like I said, there are going to be drivers pitting sometime soon. I haven't seen anybody pit yet over the last... Actually, one car is on pit road. So one car just pit. That's going to be a spot for Biffle. He's up to 31st. We'll see how many more are going to pit. 5 laps to go still for Ron Hornaday. Kenny Wallace only has to go 45 laps, so he's definitely going to make it to the end. And he made it at least 3 laps further than Bobby Hamilton. We'll have to go about 48 laps. Maybe even a little bit more than that. There's another couple cars on pit road, this time by off of turn 4. At least one more. That'll get Biffle up to 30th. 5 to go for Biffle. 4 to go for race leader Ron Hornaday. And maybe he's hoping for a caution now that could end the race while he's in the lead if he can't make it on gas. Yep, next stream is tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NASCAR 21 ignition at Sonoma. On the final season there, we'll be racing with Ryan Blaney again on our season. And I believe we have 11 races before the playoffs there. Oh, Hornaday's either out of fuel or he just lost the lead, one or the other. David Stremmy's out in front into turn 3 now, and he's trying to win his first race of the season. Another car on pit road, Biffle up to 28th it looks like. Actually, it might have been a car who was already on pit road. Biffle didn't get a spot out of it. And now the right front's in the red. Should make it to the end. Since the car was already bad on handling before. There's another car on pit road right now. I thought more drivers were going to be out coming to the end. I also thought we were going to see a third caution at some point. This will be the longest green flag run of the race at 68 laps to the finish if they make it. I wonder if Hornaday was one of those few drivers that Biffle cycled around or not. 2 laps to go for David Stremme. No cautions on the final lap. There are drivers for position up ahead that Biffle is catching. He's got 2.5 laps to get around those guys. Even if they can make it on fuel, those will be for positions. Biffle's going to need all of them he can get to 3 wide in front of him, too. That's going to definitely help him close off the exit of turn 4 with a big closing rate, even on older tires. In the draft right now of Lance Brantley in the 109. Hornaday back to the lead again off of turn 4 as they come to the white flag. Final lap of the race for Ron Hornaday as he's back in the lead. Biffle passes Brantley. That was not for position. I think he was a lap down already. That's not good. Biffle's still in 29th. See if these other 3 drivers are for position up ahead. One car's down on the bottom of the track with a blown engine. It's Dwayne Borland in the 135. That's another spot for Biffle. Stremme to the lead on the back straightaway. He gets back around Ron Hornaday. As the lead changes hands again into turns 3 and 4 one final time. Biffle's 3 wide on the front stretch for maybe a top 25 finish. Nope, 26th it looks like. And the checkered flag flies. David Stremme is going to win at California. His first win of the Busch Series season. And Greg Biffle looks like he's going to bring it home at 26th. There's only a couple drivers after him pit. And then one blew an engine coming to the white flag of the 135 of Dwayne Borland. Biffle will not catch anybody else in front of him. That is going to be tough because Hornaday, as he ran out of fuel on the final lap when he lost the lead, is going to get a top 5 finish. Yeah, Greg Biffle, 26, 32 seconds off the lead. David Stremme is your race winner at 1 hour, 51 minutes, and only 2 cautions per incident tonight at California. To get all 300 miles in, Stremme led just 11 laps today. Ron Hornaday leads 14. Finishes second. That's a 175-point day for him. J.J. Yaley finishes third with 3 laps late. Kenson didn't lead any. He ended up finishing 4th. And Bobby Hamilton Jr. rounds out the top 5 with 5 laps led himself. Kenny Wallace finished 6th, leading 8 laps. Blue Castleberry led the first 2 laps of the race. He still finished 7th. Good run for him. Tim Fedewa 8th. Casey Atwood 9th. And Billy Parker rounds out the top 10. 40 lead changes in today's race. My goodness. Margin of victory just under 0.2 of a second. And quite a few drivers finished on the lead lap today. It's like 30 drivers finished on the lead lap. Greg Biffle led 34 laps today. That was not the most. Who led 17? Was that Kevin Harvick? Yeah, Harvick led 17. Tough break for him, too. Who would have thought that Harvick and Biffle would have finished that far back? I didn't realize Kyle Busch led that many laps, but I guess he did. Kyle Busch led 56 laps today, leading the most. And he did blow an engine. I wonder if Biffle passed him for the lead, and then like a half a lap later, I didn't even see him there anymore in the final 50 laps. It would have been with 41 laps to go when Kyle Busch blew an engine. And that's tough because with Biffle finishing poorly today, he still pulls away from Busch in the standings, who was in 3rd. May not even be in 3rd anymore. That's back-to-back races with a blown engine for Kyle Busch. Jared Holmes, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Craig Miller, Eddie Hammock, Mike Bliss, Kyle Busch, Manny Brown, and then Dwayne Borland at the very end all ended up with a DNF, blowing an engine. 8 drivers failed to finish this race. Busch leads the most laps, and unfortunately for himself, finishes 38th. That was going to be a potential shot at the win for Kyle Busch, knowing that Biffle couldn't make it on fuel. but we'll never know. It was still a good race. Not a good finish for us, but it was a good race. We'll check those point standings. Again, the Food City 250 at Bristol under the lights on Friday night is the next race of this Busch Series season. We have 14 races to go to crowning a champion in the Busch Series side, and I think only, 12 races to go for the Cup Series? 13 races left for the Cup Series. And the next Cup race will be Thursday night on NASCAR 05. Again, NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow night at Sonoma, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here's a look at the point standings. Biffle obviously still the points leader, but the lead is cut down quite a bit. Pretty much, actually, right in half. Hornaday was 170 back coming in. He gains 85 points today to now be only 85 points back. That was not a good race for Biffle as far as the finish goes. At least he got 5 bonus points, but so did Hornaday, and Hornaday also finished second. I think Hornaday's only won one race this season, so it's kind of like Dale Jr. in the Cup Series, where Jr. only has one win, and Hornaday's only got one win here. So it looks like we have two close points battles, one in the Busch, one in the Cup. If I remember right, I think I clinched the Truck Series championship a race early. That one really didn't come down to the wire, but these two series definitely come down to the wire with the custom schedule season. It also is a little bit longer of a season, too, so that makes it more difficult. This one, 31 races, Cup Series 36, and the Truck Series was only 23. And I believe I have the most pulls in the Busch Series. Yeah, 6. 6 pulls. Today was our 6th. Manny Brown has 3, and a lot of drivers have 1. 8 of them have 1. 10 different drivers have qualified on the pole this season through 18 races. 17, actually. That's pretty competitive. Yeah, I'm going to check to see how many wins these other... Oh, yeah, I didn't see how far back Kyle Busch fell. Kyle Busch is back to 4th in points now after that DNF. Bobby Hamilton Jr. had a good finish today, and he's up to 3rd now, and he's only 271 back, gaining a lot on Greg Biffle as well, so... Look out for Bobby Hamilton. If he comes back from over 300 points back at one point in time to win this championship, what a memorable comeback that would be, even in the Busch Series. Ashton Lewis is 5th in points right now. That's crazy. Granted, again, it's a Busch Series. David Stremmy's 7th. He just got his first win. Yeah, I was looking back at it. The only drivers who have won a Busch Series race this season, David Stremme has 1, J.J. Yaley has 1, Ron Hornaday has 1, Kyle Busch has 1, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 1, Bobby Hamilton Jr. has 1, Hermie Sadler has 1. That was at Daytona in the fall race. And then Greg Biffle has 10. So, no other drivers won more than 1 race this year. And 2 Cup regulars have won today. Or have won this season. Yep, that's going to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to be going to bed here pretty soon. And I will see you guys back better than ever again tomorrow at 7:30 tomorrow night. NASCAR 21 Ignition at Sonoma on the final season there. I believe it's race number 16 if I remember correctly. 11 races to go until the playoffs on that side of things. Heating up for the regular season championship. We'll see if we can score Blaney some important points to try and get back into that race. Thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night.